Hi, it's Nikki, and welcome back to Live a Little, your cozy corner of the internet where we discuss all of the in-between bits of life, the messy, honest, and unfiltered parts where you may not always have that person to talk about them with, but here we do it all judgment-free. Welcome back. Today I'm here with someone that I am so excited to have on. We were just saying that we've not done something like this since I interviewed them when I was 13 and I'm now 21. So a lot of time and life has happened since. I'm here with Katie Piper. I'm so happy to have you here.
I am so pleased because I'm actually a fan of the pod. So it's
Oh,
kind of
thank
weird
you.
being here when I listen to it, you know.
I remember you interviewing me for your pod.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, was it 2020?
It was before like lockdown and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe even like 2019, maybe.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh
I mean, we
God.
see each other at events sometimes, don't
yeah,
we?
we
But we
do.
haven't sat down like this.
No, and we always kind of, I feel like when we see each other, it's like the safe person. We're each other's safe person. you know?
Yeah. We can
Well,
say like one thing to each
yeah.
other and we're hard relate.
Yeah, and we also just know we don't have to do the small talk or
Yeah.
it's like a no BS zone,
Yeah.
which I love. And I feel
Yeah.
like our relationship has always been like that.
Yeah, it's nice because it's not always the most authentic spaces. It
Yeah.
can be quite performative sometimes.
Yeah,
So
for sure. And I
yeah.
think especially when, some of the spaces we're in can be seen as pretty surface level things, like
Yeah, it's hard.
beauty or lifestyle or TV, whatever it is. There's genuine and lovely people in it. However, it's sometimes hard to navigate, especially when you've been through things that aren't the norm
Yeah, I think
and the loneliness of that.
100%. I think it can be excruciating
Yeah,
and you can decide that you're going to show up, put your best self out there, but in practice it can sometimes not always work out that well.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah, and your best self, like for us, is something that takes so much more
yeah.
than the average person to kind of get up, get ready, and go to something.
Yeah, and I think it's hard as well because you can have like a door open to you in that space, but only for that performative moment. And then you can see other people returning and
Yeah,
returning to that, but not
yeah,
you because they've ticked that box,
exactly.
so that can be hard not to take that personally as well.
Yeah. Has there been any kind of experience you've had in the industry? It could have been recent, it could have not been, that's kind of been a breath of fresh air.
Yeah, and actually, you know the brand really well. I work with La Roche-Posay, and I
Love.
know you work with them
Yeah.
as well.
It's often
And
where we see each other.
yeah, it is actually, isn't it? And
Yeah.
I think that highlights what they do is they don't just do diversity for like a summer campaign
hmm
and then you don't see them again. Like I've
hmm
worked with them just consistently for years and years, and they don't just use me and say, oh, okay, we've got like facial difference covered.
Yeah.
They use loads of different people all the time regularly.
Yeah.
So for me, it feels real. I don't have to worry. I don't have to be a more like palatable version of myself
Yeah.
or like shrink myself not to be like too much,
hmm
So I feel more laid back. And actually, they probably get the best content out of me because I don't overthink that and worry about.
Exactly that, which we've just been talking about.
Yeah. And I don't feel like sort of dangling where I'm like, oh, I might lose this if I don't do this or
Yeah.
don't do that. I feel quite safe.
Yeah, because they're choosing you, they're choosing us for us and
Yeah.
our stories in a way.
And people like us. Like
100%.
I did
Yeah.
an event the other day and the people on the panel were like me and the people in the audience were like me. And I was like, oh, this is really definitely real because it's
Mhm.
been years now,
Yeah.
So
Practice what they preach.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you think because you've been, I mean, you've done so many different things. You're an author, you're a broadcaster, you've done modeling, so many different types of things, and so many more. When I was trying to think about how to introduce you, I was like, she's done too many things for me to actually just say she's this, she's this, she's this, because you've done so many incredible things. Is there anything that kind of comes to mind in the last, like even decade where it's felt like an incredibly special thing to be able to do?
I think I'll always enjoy writing,
Yeah.
and then putting that out there to be received by other people. And it's not even the online stuff. It's like writing a book and actually meeting people in a restaurant or on the
hmm
street that, I mean, I'm sure you have a similar experience where they will come up to you and tell you their life story, and then they'll kind of caveat it with like, I couldn't go on, or I'd just about given up on myself. And then I read your book and it changed my
Mm.
mindset. And like
Mm.
that feels like quite old school connection.
Yeah.
And it feels true. And I think I've always worked like this for the last like 15, 20 years. I work like it could all end.
So do I.
Yeah, and that's a
Yeah.
mixture of the like, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people in this industry and self-employed
Yeah.
would do that because it's a fickle industry. But I think you and I also know like the fragility of life and
Yeah.
our health.
You're so right.
We might be too sick
Yeah.
next month,
Yeah.
or we might be too sick, period, to ever work again.
Hmm.
So I think that's kind of like a low level of anxiety,
No, 100%.
but also
Yeah.
a motivator at the same
It
time.
is. Yeah, it's very hard, isn't it? Because I often kind of say I can't go to something that I agreed to going to, or I can't film the ad when it was supposed to get filmed,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. There is this kind of anxiety that settles in of, oh no, they've had this experience with me now, so they won't want to go through this again.
Yeah, it's really worrying. And sometimes you're not wrong.
Yeah,
So, I mean, that it does benefit some people. Like it benefits my children because I live
totally.
life to the full with my children. I do lots of things with them.
Mm.
I'm there for them. I kind of like throw myself into motherhood at all times. So people get the best out of me in that way, but you can
Yeah,
end up quite tired,
yeah.
like mentally.
Yeah, exactly. I went to a premiere last week and I saw your
Yeah.
comment where I was literally at Moorfields Eye Hospital that morning.
Yeah.
And then I was like going to within like 4 hours I was on a red carpet and no
Hmm.
one would have any idea
Yeah.
that obviously everyone has kind of some sort of version of that
Yeah.
um in different ways, but no one would have a clue sometimes that we show up to things and what our day's been like.
You have to do that because if you didn't do that, you'd miss out on
Yeah.
opportunities. And it's like a regular person would not go to work that day or book that day off because it's a medical appointment,
Yeah.
because they'll have that one medical appointment less than once a year,
Mhm.
maybe every few years, or
Yeah.
maybe never. Most people
Yeah.
don't really go to hospital unless they give birth or
They
something.
don't.
Yeah,
Which
but
is mental because it feels so, unfortunately for
yeah,
both of us, that's become the norm.
yeah,
Is I go to hospital like at least once a week, maybe once
yeah,
every 2 weeks.
yeah.
So for me that is just implemented and seen as normal in my life.
Yeah, and I feel like you I don't know if you relate to this,
Mhm.
of like so many choices have been taken away from you.
Yeah.
So when you do get to choose, you're damn well going to choose,
Yes.
right?
So true.
And it's like, okay, the hospital thing, it's the fixed thing that you have to navigate.
Yeah.
So can you just build a life around that fixed thing
Yeah.
and just show up and turn up, even if it's like a completely weird journey that no one could really understand?
Mm.
You just kind of have to do that because there's no changing that part of your life.
That's exactly it. And I think when we were kind of talking about the podcast where I've kind of been talking about how I've just waited for so much of my life since becoming sick to start living or start doing things when I'm better. Like
Yeah.
I remember when I turned 18, when I was younger, my mindset was surely by 18, like this won't be
Uh-huh.
an issue.
Yeah.
Surely. And then by that time I'll be an adult where I have more freedom anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And then I can do this, I can do that, I can have that freedom, I can have that, autonomy and sense of choice.
Yeah.
And then 18 comes, 21 comes,
Yeah.
so many other kind of pivotal moments in our life come, big or small, and you're like, yeah.
Yeah, I feel like you'll never arrive,
Yeah.
right? Like you're like what, and your average person is like when I lose weight, when I'm more confident, when
Mm-hmm.
I meet a guy,
Yeah.
so they're kind of like pinning it on an external thing,
Yeah.
right? So that doesn't work anyway. But I always think you wait to like experience a feeling. So you're like,
That's it.
when I'm successful,
That's it.
or
It's the feeling.
yeah, but
Yeah.
because it's internal, you're sort of controlling not feeling it.
Yeah,
And
you're
I
so
just
right.
don't think any of these places are a sort of destination.
Mm-hmm.
You don't sort of like rock up and stay in those places. Like I almost think they're like fleeting moments that you get. It's like a transient thing
It
that
really
just
is.
ebbs and flows, doesn't
Yeah.
it? And
Because I struggle a lot to kind of, and I think the older I've got, I actually can't really quite understand how resilient I was when I was younger.
yeah,
In that, I mean, I just think the younger you are, the more resilient you're able to be because maybe what you're going through is newer or you're not fully seeing the full picture of what's going on.
mm,
But I feel like the older I've got, the more I actually struggle with either what I've been through and how that impacted me when I was younger, but also kind of clicking into what is kind of Nikki, that is kind of her condition rules her life, her appearance, rules some of the things she does,
Yeah.
and all of that side. How do I then also click into Nikki that needs to get up and film the podcast,
Yeah.
Nikki that needs to like work, because if she doesn't turn up, then the thing doesn't happen.
Yeah. Do you like feel sad for your younger self then that she had to
Yeah.
be that?
Yeah, I feel
You had to be a
like,
woman when you were a child.
yeah, I think I've gone through a bit of a new wave of grief, I'd
Mm-hmm.
say, as I've become an adult, because I think the more kind of protective you become over just humans,
Yeah.
the more that I look back at what I've been through from such an early age. I became sick at 6 years old, and I'm sure you feel the same. From your mid-20s, everything that has happened and what transpired, you look back at when, especially, you were in the kind of thick of it at the beginning, where you didn't even understand what had happened, and you're just trying to grasp how to get through the day.
Yeah.
That there's a level where, because you're so deeply in the trenches of it,
Mm-hmm.
you can't really even look at it from like a bird's eye view.
I think it's good though you can't because
That's what I mean. I feel
yeah,
like it helped me.
you would just kill yourself.
Yeah.
Do you know, you almost have to be like almost oblivious to
It's
like,
survival.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely used to relate I guess my experience is slightly different to yours in that I have a before and after,
Mm.
right? So I kind of walked this world for 24 years
Yeah.
with pretty privilege,
Mm.
right? Being in the eyes of society, normal,
Yeah.
conventionally attractive. And then, I talk a lot about this in my new book, right? It's labeled as a book about aging, but I don't mean traditional aging. I mean, I experienced aging in a second.
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
like, the natural process of aging is like women become invisible, right?
Yes.
They get less opportunities professionally.
Mm-hmm.
So, I got disfigured in less than like 60 seconds. And I went from being like attractive and getting all the privileges that come with
Yeah.
that to being repulsive to people, to being invisible, to being ignored. So, it was like going from 24 to like 90 years
Yeah.
old in
Yeah.
like 1 second.
Yeah.
So it was really weird. So I relate to what you're saying when you say grief because it was like a bereavement because I lost a girl who's never coming back.
I do feel that though, in a sense, because I was a healthy, happy child till I was 6.
Do you remember? Well,
I remember. It's this also weird thing where I feel like the further away I feel from that person,
I know that's sad too.
oh, yeah,
Yeah,
I'm so desperately trying to cling on to what's left of the innocence of my life then.
yeah,
Same with you. But equally, you can't keep living looking through the rearview mirror.
yeah. And your coping mechanism, like trauma, it does actually blank some of your memories.
Yeah, like I was told from quite an early age I had like complex PTSD.
Mm-hmm, of course,
Um
yeah.
it's then learning, what does new normalcy look like when you know that this person that actually did walk around and did live and have maybe a different future in mind, or whatever it may have been, or maybe completely different traits as a person.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
also don't know. Like if people ask you, what would your life have been, or like
It's the unanswered questions, isn't it?
yeah, and I don't think anyone can say that. I mean, I know for me, being traditionally attractive almost ruined my life.
Mm,
And actually, when I became my most successful and had my highest
yeah.
achievements, right, was actually when I decentered the male gaze.
I've done a whole episode on that.
I listened to
Did
it and
you? Oh
I
my
was
gosh.
like I was tidying up the house. I had your pod on, no headphones, just like blaring out. And I'm like nodding and I'm nodding. And I'm like, yeah, well, what happened to me is I'm born in the 80s, raised in the 90s, where everyone's obsessed with this heteronormative relationship, right? The
Mm,
thing that makes a straight girl happy is falling in love, getting married, having kids, moving in with a guy.
mm-hmm.
So all my life, I was like a seeker. Like that's what
Mm,
I would seek. And I poured a lot of my time and energy into men,
yeah.
right? So then I become burnt at age 24 and I'm no longer appealable to men. Like it's not even about repulsing men. It's about actually not even like being in the game,
No,
like
that's exactly it.
taken
Yeah.
out of the game. The energy I had left to put into myself and
Mm,
into my career
yeah.
made me so successful.
Yeah.
Had I stayed conventionally attractive, I would never ever have focused on myself in the way that I have.
That's incredible.
I would have focused on like Steve
Well,
from down
yeah,
the road.
it's so true as well.
Like,
And when because I've grown up never really having, the male gaze, and therefore not knowing that I could be, well, I mean, listen to the episode, not knowing that I could be seen in that way, but then equally growing up alongside some of my closest friends being that, and seeing that neither, like, especially the what you see pretty privileged to be
hmm
is really not what you think it is.
yeah, yeah,
Of course, maybe it will get you through a door easier. We've experienced it even
yeah.
now. But there is so much where if you are constantly placing your value on external things,
hmm
your treatment from others, your, validation from others, especially the opposite sex or whoever you find, attractive, then you never actually realize what you need from you. And in life, the older I get, the more I'm realizing the most important relationship we will have in our lives is the one we have with ourselves.
Yeah, and for some people, it's the least investment for some
Yeah.
reason. It's also like really weird because it's so basic to know that if we place all our happiness on the way that we look,
Hmm.
we do know that we'll endure so much suffering
Yeah.
because we do know we'll
Yeah.
age, we do know we'll grow old, we do know sickness will be a part of
Yeah.
most people's lives, usually more towards the end,
Yeah.
but it will happen. And we also do know that we'll all die.
Yeah.
So it's like a weird thing. It's
Hmm.
a very like fragile. Like if you're thinking about like any other investment, which is usually financial, right?
Yeah.
Would you go to a financial advisor and he would say, "Well, this investment is going to end one day. It's really fragile. You could be in an accident. It could get
Hmm.
taken away. Anything can happen. Do you want to put all your worth and money there?" You'd be like, "No, of course I don't."
Yeah.
You know.
So true.
But for some reason, people don't see that about the
Yeah.
exterior.
That's so true. And I think it's so hard, isn't it, when more than ever now with social media being so, I feel like, the night and day between even our conversation of how prominent social media was,
hmm
um, when I was like 13 versus me at 21 is so big, even just that jump.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think when there is such an ability to have comments on your appearance by people you don't know,
yeah.
which has always been there in the media in so many different ways, it's always been cutthroat like that. Um, but it being so accessible now is something that is an even bigger kind of thing to have to get your head around and
It's another layer, isn't it?
navigate. Yeah.
And I suppose for you, like you grew up online
Mm.
really, and you were always very like, this is me. So
Yeah.
you're almost like saying it before, like people can't tell you this is you. You know it's you, right?
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's exactly it. Although I was thinking, like, because both of us, a lot of the work we do is advocacy and
hmm
like, really trying to practice what we talk about. Not preach, 'cause that's not the right word, but kind of trying to live in the life that we talk and we say to be true, and the mindset. But I do feel like a lot of I don't know, maybe even like first 10 years of being online, because it's been longer now, I do feel like I was saying a lot of stuff that I really wasn't believing.
so kind of like going through the motions of,
Yeah, like
yeah,
I was saying, like, I love myself, my
yeah,
differences make me beautiful, and I truly do believe that now. Of course, I've still internalized what it's like to be the odd one out
yeah.
in a young group of people and what that feels like.
hmm
But I know that my differences are my superpower. And same with you, like you said, you were the most successful when those things were the things that you embraced.
Yeah.
In therapy, my therapist talks a lot about how we have like three cogs as a human.
Okay.
And we have the behavioral cog, the feeling cog, and the beliefs cog.
Yeah.
And the easiest one to change is the behavioral one. That's like your actions
That's what
sort of.
you're in control
Yeah,
of. Yeah.
exactly. And
Yeah.
so that's like what we talk about, what we say we're doing, advice we give our
Uh
friends.
huh.
But actually kind of instilling and believing that advice
Yeah.
towards ourselves is so difficult.
Well, yeah, and I get it. And I suppose really what you were doing first off online, it's almost like an affirmation.
That's
You're
it.
saying something until it becomes true.
Yeah,
But then it does become true. And I think maybe it's not your fault that you were in that space. I think the world was different then.
it was.
And it wasn't I mean, do you identify with being like do you call yourself disabled or not?
No, I mean, I have disabilities, but I don't
Yeah.
really call myself disabled.
So if I use the word disabled, right, it's like back then, the world was not ready for disabled people to be anything other than somebody we have to give sympathy to.
Yeah, you're so right.
Whereas if now, like, I could see you wearing something really sexy, doing something really high powered,
Mm.
and the world is more not totally, but like it's more ready to receive you in that
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
Like 10 years ago, they'd be like, what? I
What
don't
are you
understand.
doing?
Like, I would imagine people are confused by you now
I think so.
because of like this level of
Yeah.
ableism, right?
Yeah.
Where you can exist and you could be really cute
Mhm.
and you could be really inspiring, but oh, can you be like sexy?
That's it.
Can you be in control? Can
Yeah.
you be assertive? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if we know disabled people to be like that and how to receive it. It's
You're
like,
so you're so right. And also maybe that's what it is I kind of felt like a lot of people saw me as like a figment of their imagination of like,
yeah,
you're so inspiring,
yeah,
like you just keep getting back up and you're so strong.
yeah,
And so then you kind of feel like you need to attain that idea of kind of like this sort of superhero that just isn't real and doesn't, it's you.
yeah.
Of course, you are getting back up and you are doing the thing, but it's
They're
you're
making a character at
yeah,
you. Yeah,
exactly. When you're just kind of trying to do what you can to get through your day and
yeah.
just to,
And
exist.
that whole thing we said earlier about never arriving, I always used to think, when I get older, people will stop patronizing me because I'll be
Mm.
an older burn survivor. And I am like going to be 43 this year, and people still say to me, bless you.
Oh, I can
And I'm
imagine.
like, I'm a mum who's like running a career, running a house. Like, I'm a serious person, but people still say to
Yeah.
me, bless you, you're so cute.
What is your biggest like and a lot of, these people obviously don't mean anything bad, but what is your
No.
biggest pet peeve that like someone says?
God, I don't want to be like a moaner, but
No,
it's not what someone says, it's how
they
I
say it.
well, no, I think it's how it's the unsaid stuff of how people treat me. Like, I have like people in my space who are less experienced than me, and I would say not as good,
Mhm.
that will do things that I could have done better. But
Mm.
I think people find it hard to trust somebody who maybe can't fully see,
Yeah.
who will the audience like them because they don't look like the audience. And it's a internalized ableism, right?
Mhm.
Where they somehow think you will be less capable than your
Yeah,
counterparts who
yeah.
are able-bodied,
Mhm.
right? So it's just like that they can believe that you could sell a confidence product and be loud and proud, but can they trust you in a traditional role doing something? Are you a safe pair of hands?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head.
Does it happen to you?
Yeah, for sure. Or,
I,
it's kind of like you feel sort of boxed into what they think you're capable
yeah,
to talk about or
yeah,
to sell. And sometimes you're like, I actually really don't want to talk about my experiences. Of course, they are what shape you.
yeah.
But, if Becky down the road, who looks like everyone else, didn't have kind of, facial difference or something like that, like a story to draw upon, would you be asking her to kind of say her deepest, darkest secrets or
Yeah.
thoughts? No.
So I've genuinely been to like TV meetings with commissioners where they're like, TV idea, you go and meet
Oh my God, me too.
acid attack victims in India. And I'm like, okay, right. So I had this idea about, this wouldn't be it, but say cooking. And they've
Mm.
like, well, I don't know. Why would we see you in that space? Because I have to eat and
Yeah,
cook.
yeah,
Yeah. And like, why do we see X, Y, or Z in that space?
exactly. But they'd be like, but was that something that helped you through
Yeah.
your
They have to have
situation?
that
Yeah.
tenuous link. They're like, did you cook to be inspirational?
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's really weird where it's like, oh, you really can't get past this, can you? You really have to always have that tenuous link. And
Yeah. Do you sometimes feel like you have to sort of prove your worth sometimes in spaces or pitch yourself? And you're like, I feel like, and if we all have to do that in some capacity in a job or in life.
yeah,
Um, but
I think any minority,
yeah,
whether
100%.
it's
But I do,
race, gender,
yeah,
yeah.
I do feel like sometimes I go into something and I'm like, I don't want to feel like I'm having to sell myself to you when that's been my whole life is trying to prove my worth.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it's real and it happens to me. But I've turned it around. Again, it's made me successful because
Mm.
I do give 110%. I don't sleep. I'm
Yeah.
on the road. I'm doing all these things because I know I have to be slightly better or give more than
Yeah.
your average person,
Yeah.
and I just accept that. Right, I just
Yeah.
know that, like change, like all the advocacy work you're talking about, it's chipping away and it's helping, and change will come, and
Mm.
things are better than 10
Yeah.
years ago,
Yeah. Yeah.
but they're not fully there, not yet.
Yeah. obviously you've also kind of everything happened to you 20 plus years ago now.
Yeah.
And so what has that, now having a bit more space from it, of course, you still live in the life of everything that's happened. You're still going to hospital. Your appearance has changed.
Mm.
So what do you think is the biggest change for you from being, it's just happened, with your attack to now 20 years on?
I think, um, as you get older, because I am aging, right? Like I'm in my 40s, yeah. And then
Yeah.
you get all the other things that happen to you. And then you realize, like, because other people think of like injuries and illness as a fixed place where you have to accept them and they are
Mm,
this, and then that's it, right? And
mm,
then you put it in a box. So now I'm like aging and worrying about the other things that are deteriorating alongside the injuries, and
yeah.
like it's affecting them. And I'm getting like more medical problems now than I
Mm,
actually had first off, because there's the wear and tear on your body. So I do think that is hard. And then, now my life is my daughter's, right? And not wanting that to like infringe on their life and
mm,
interrupt it. And
yeah.
obviously hospital and things like that does.
Yeah.
So try to like outperform those things.
While also having to, doing your career and everything else, so
It's
much.
hard, and I do think one of the problems that I developed, it wasn't immediately, is an issue around like control.
Mhm.
So, like, again, going back to what we were saying earlier about things being out of your control, it's like you develop, like, I don't want to say like an eating disorder, but you develop.
I had one.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you try and so I can control like my weight, I
Yeah.
could control my body, right? So it's not like having a traditional eating disorder. It's about having some kind of agency and autonomy and control over things. I have to tidy the house. I have to be organized with my diary. I have to be a perfectionist in other areas because I can't in
Mhm.
some. So and that is like quite exhausting as
I
well.
relate to that so
Yeah.
much. Yeah, it's especially I think when there's a lot of control, lack of control within the body that you're in, and that
Yeah.
is a thing that you're with. That is kind of your constant.
Yeah.
You're constantly with yourself.
Yeah.
That is a very, very hard thing to cope with and come to
Uh-huh.
terms with. And so you do, in healthy and unhealthy ways, have to seek that as a human elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so I
And it
completely,
does work for you. Like,
yeah, it
I'm not
does.
encouraging people to have unhealthy habits, but to have, even if it's placebo, to have some sense of control over my life gives me like
We all need
calm.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all
Yeah.
need it because without that, you don't have a foundation of normalcy.
Yeah.
You don't have kind of something that can keep you grounded when you're going through things to hold on to something. Because there's been times when I'm not sure if you relate, but my health has got worse or I'm in
Yeah.
more pain or whatever it is. Because obviously it's not every day is the same. It's sometimes you feel like this
Mm-hmm.
or you feel like this. And it's
Yeah.
such a pendulum,
It's quite
which is
extreme.
again really hard
Yeah.
because you never know how you're going to wake up that day. It's really difficult. Like there's times where I'll agree to things and then the closer they get,
I
it's
know.
that dread of like, oh no,
I've got
but
to follow through. Yeah. But then I do see like a lot of what, like you're very successful. Like if I compare you to other women your age, you're
oh,
very successful and you've done a lot of things that women would do in their like 30s and 40s. You've laid a lot
mm,
of roots, a lot of foundations. You've done great things. And like, would you have done that without this hardship?
probably not.
Yeah, you say yes, you take the opportunity, you push on through.
Yeah,
Like I
likewise.
yeah, I mean I don't think I could have. It's really funny like because when people think about my story, they always connect it to beauty, right?
Mm,
It's why I called my book Still Beautiful. And it's actually that even with a disfigurement, people are still obsessed with my beauty or lack of it, or perceiving like what really is that beauty.
I always get, you're still
I
beautiful. I'm
know,
like,
right?
this video is nothing to do with that.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
because they still believe it's the most powerful currency a woman can possess.
Hmm.
So therefore, it must be the biggest compliment
Yeah.
that they could actually give you to
Yeah.
be still beautiful. And I gave my book that name in an ironic way of being traditionally beautiful didn't do anything good for me.
Mm,
It brought jealous people into my life. It
mm,
brought controlling people into my life.
mm.
It made me only focus on that offering.
Yeah.
That was the only offering I focused on. I didn't focus on like my academic achievements, my intelligence. It was a complete nightmare for me.
Yeah.
I don't even yearn for it back, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that makes complete sense. What would you say outside of all of the achievements, outside of everything, is a quality that you possess that you are proud of now?
I am totally and utterly unbreakable.
Mm.
Like absolutely anything could
Yeah,
happen to me
yeah.
and it would temporarily shatter me,
Hmm.
but it would never ever destroy me. And I can authentically, genuinely say that. And I can always think of a way to like pivot. Like,
Mm.
because I think a lot of people are ruled by like fear,
Yeah.
right? And that fear is usually fear of change.
Yeah.
I've only ever experienced radical change
Yeah. Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah.
Like you said, one day you wake up and your whole life's changed, right?
Literally.
So, like, fear doesn't really control me. I'm not controlled by other people's
Yeah.
opinions. Like, I'm just kind of like I'm like this free agent
Mhm.
that's just like going through life where like whatever happens, I know that I'll adapt, I'll reinvent, I'll evolve, and I'm not rigid.
I do that a lot in therapy day to day, where sometimes when you're kind of when I'm going through a really difficult time, it's sometimes hard to draw out what in all of this made it worth it. Like
Yeah.
what is the good? And that is something that I definitely say is I feel like I've learned a lot of we were just saying you see me as like a 62-year-old, and
Yeah.
it's just it's that same thing where it wouldn't
You're
matter
an
what
old
what
soul.
age we
Yeah.
were, like
Yeah.
we would still have those same understandings of one another and also life and life lessons.
Yeah.
And that is something that I really do feel like through everything I've been through, I've learned things about life and humans and what
Yeah.
actually matters in life
It's so valuable.
that a lot of people won't learn because they won't be forced to.
If I had to summarize the good that has come out of my situation, it's one thing, and it is that I found my why. And I found my
Mm.
why at 24.
Yeah.
People find their why when they're like terminal on their deathbed. They work out what life was all about,
Yeah.
and it's too late. So
Mm.
I know that's a big privilege to find your why at such a
Mm.
young age, you know.
Yeah.
Like I do know why I'm here and what I should be doing.
Yeah.
And my life before my bed injury was actually quite chaotic.
Mm.
And I didn't really know what I was doing. And it was built around like receiving compliments. It was built around guys.
Yeah.
It was built around dating. And I suppose it was chasing this 90s Disney happy ever after of getting married.
Mhm.
Well, I don't know how many of your circle are married,
Yeah.
if any, but I will tell you, most people who are married are not happy.
Mm.
They're
Yeah.
really, really not.
Yeah.
So it's not the place that people build it up to be.
And that shows you it's regardless of an appearance thing.
Yeah, it's not even related to how you look. And it's funny actually, like when I did step out of the male gaze, it was a choice.
Mm.
But I was quite naive because I was like glad to step out of the male gaze. Men had brought me nothing but problems. And then when I started to heal a bit, I wanted to date again. And then I didn't realize that wasn't just stepping out by choice, but I'd been thrown out as well.
Mm.
And I didn't realize that because
Yeah.
I'd been around a lot of like safe places like hospital. I'd been around people at my charity where
Yeah.
I was like, everyone's going to love me for me. Yeah. And then I went to date and I was like, oh, okay, not everyone's going to love me for me. This is really rough. I'm
Mhm.
now not single by choice. I'm actually
Yeah.
single because of rejection.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that was hard actually.
You've always been someone that in that whole area I've especially looked up to because you've been an example that it is possible, that
Yeah.
you can have whatever you hope for in life.
Yeah.
You've got your partner, you've got your beautiful children, and you've got an incredible career. And it's not that any of them have come easily at all.
No, but they are out
But
there.
it shows that it's possible, and that's why
Yeah.
isn't it so important, one of the most vivid things I remember you saying to me was the more that we see difference, the more normalized it becomes.
Yeah.
And that's stuck with me ever since, and it's something that I always tell people, and also when they ask me, who are people that I look to that I feel seen in, I always say you,
Yeah.
because, you're 20 or so years older than me. You're in a slightly different stage of your life, but
Hmm.
quite a lot of the things that we've been through are similar, the feelings, the issues, and the kind of hardships we've come up against with being people that don't look like the norm.
Right.
And so, what was that like when you then met your husband? How did you begin to trust men again?
It was really weird, the whole going back to dating, because I had been in this privileged position before where I was doing the picking, I was doing
Mm.
the dumping, I was deciding, how many guys I was or was not going to date, right? And I hadn't realized how powerful being pretty was
Yeah.
until I wasn't.
Yeah.
All right. And it's fucking lonely,
Hmm.
right? And then I was already a woman. I was already sexually active. I already had like a love life.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden I didn't. And when I actually wanted to go back to dating, I was like, oh, I'm like confusing people wanting to help me and finding me inspiring with fancying me. and they don't
Oh my gosh, I
it's
relate
like
to that
so
so much.
so
Yeah.
embarrassing, but like
Yeah.
they don't fancy me. They want to help my charity, or they want me to meet their daughter, or like I've really like misread this
Yeah.
situation, right? And I'm no longer I'm just the participant now. I don't get to call the shots
Mm.
because I don't hold the highest currency in society anymore. I'm not the beautiful one anymore. So that was really hard. And it would be a problem for people how I looked. And I
Mhm.
did feel like some people were ashamed of me. And I did feel like not part of certain spaces.
Yeah.
And I had to really, really accept that.
Yeah.
And maybe like put to bed, like maybe this will never happen for me.
Mm.
So what does that look like? I'd stop being blind to like, there were so many women in my life, right? So I used to search for a guy because I used to think like if I meet a guy, then everything will be okay. And that will complete me and
That
complete my
is
life.
the hole that needs filling. Like,
Yeah, like
yeah.
the white knight on the horse to
Yeah.
save me because
The trope.
yeah, and also because like back then, like men earn more money, men have better jobs.
Mhm.
Like if I meet a man, then I'll be like financially secure and I'll be
Yeah.
able to have a baby and not I'll be at home looking after a baby and all those like old-fashioned societal structures, right? Fast forward, like women can now earn money themselves, they can get big jobs, they can earn money without leaving the house online. Like and then I'm like, "Well, maybe I should be the man that I want to date and marry." So that's
Yeah.
what I got busy doing. And as I got busy being the man I wanted to date, men started to notice me like a
Mm.
bit more because probably because I have more to offer,
Mhm.
because I had a good job, I was like visible in like different spaces. I wasn't necessarily like the most traditionally beautiful, but it was tricky because I didn't really know like, do I kiss somebody? Do I not kiss somebody? Are
Yeah.
we texting as friends? Are we texting as dating? And like, I would often get it wrong and then it would be like painful and hurt my confidence.
Yeah, I relate to that a lot. That's the thing, isn't it? Where you maybe in the past or when you kind of have that pretty privilege element, you're like, okay, I'll lean into the kiss because you're like,
Yeah.
I feel like I have that comfortability or confidence too.
Uh huh.
Rejection becomes such a scary thing.
It's hard. It
Yeah.
it does and it doesn't because then in the end, like if all you receive is rejection, it
Mhm.
kind of just
That's
becomes
what you're
normal.
used to. Yeah.
Yeah. And I even like got to this point of like thinking about my sexuality of like, should I date a woman? Like,
Mm.
what am I? Not necessarily like, am I gay? But like, is this like conventional setup not
Yeah.
really for me?
Yeah.
You know, so like exploring all those avenues and like, could I be as happy dating a woman as I could a man? Maybe
Yeah.
more happier actually.
Yeah.
But I went on to meet
Yeah.
Richie and, you know, that was like confusing. I didn't really know if he liked me. I didn't really want to put it out there because I was so grateful that I had this guy that was texting me. I didn't want to ruin it.
Oh, I relate to that so much. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it was hard. And then, like, as life does, I then meet Richie, everything's going well. And then my airways become compromised with scar tissue, right?
Oh God.
So they're like, oh, you need osmosis expanders because you've got lack of tissue, right? So they inject these, like for anyone that I'm sure you know what
I do.
osmosis expander
Yeah.
is, right? But it's like looks like a grain of rice. They put it in the skin, and when it hits moisture, it has osmosis and it expands and stretches the skin, right?
Mm.
So that they could then put a flap down and do a skin graft.
Yeah.
But with me, it's not normal tissue.
Yeah.
It's like toughened scar tissue. So the osmosis expander one day rips through my nose, creates a big hole in my
Oh
nose.
my
The
gosh.
hole just stays open. They can't do anything about it. When I lean forward, like snot drips out the hole. And they're like, oh, so what we're going to have to do is like remove your upper right rib, put that in, remove some skin from your groin, graft it there. And you're going to need a walking stick and have like drains. And I'm like,
Is that all?
I know.
Oh
And I found it all out in one day. And then I'm like,
my
great. So I'm dating this guy who's like, could meet anybody. He's good looking, he's fun, he's got a good job. So I just kind of said to Richie, oh, I'm having like a procedure. I didn't go into it.
God.
I was like,
Yeah.
so you should just move on with your life and go and date because you're young. He was 27, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, oh no, I'll come visit you. I'm like, no, it's not like that. Like, just go away.
Yeah.
And he was like, you're mental and I really like you.
Oh.
And do you not like me then? And I was like, no, I do, but I
Yeah.
just don't want to bring like my walking stick, drain, snot dripping life
I
into
don't
your
want you to
life.
see me this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also, like in dating, like this is how people support each other in their like 60s and 70s
You're so right.
when you both have these ailments and diseases.
Mm.
But he kind of stayed, and I was just like, God, this is so awkward. Like, also, I'm not going to be able to have a sexual relationship. Like, we're in the
Mm.
honeymoon period. Like, why do you even want to know me? But he did. And then I'm like recovering. I come home. And we used to like for our date, like Blockbuster Video still
Oh
existed,
my
right?
God.
It's so
Yeah, yeah,
old,
yeah, yeah.
right? So our dating was like we'd go to Blockbusters and we'd get like the little meal deal of like the tortilla chips, the popcorn, everything. So we were supposed to do that, and he was like, "Okay, let's go to Blockbusters like we always do." And we used to walk from my flat. And I had like the walking stick, I had like loads of dressing, loads of
Mm.
like, and it's not like when normal people have like a cute broken arm, like
No.
it's pussy and
Yeah.
smelly and
Yeah. Recovery is not
it's,
pretty.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, "You go to Blockbuster, I'll wait in the apartment." And he was like, "Why? You need to walk for your physio. Like, we need to go." I was like, "Look, everyone will stare at me, then they'll stare at you, and people will be like shocked and stuff. So let's just not do that." And he's like, "I'm not going to go and get the movie if you don't come."
Yeah.
And I was just like, "Oh my God."
Oh.
I had to go. So he forced me to go. And people did stare a little bit, like, they're just not expecting to see someone like that.
Mhm.
And then that cemented the whole relationship. Like, okay, he's like ride or die. He's serious. There's more to this guy than all the other people that rejected me.
It's actually brought you to him,
Yes.
to know what actually matters in a true
Exactly.
partner.
And it was so revealing because then other people that had rejected me or broken up with me, once I went public and it was in the press and he was with me and we were doing fun stuff and it was fashionable and it was cool and I was now acceptable to date, got back in touch with me. And we're
No.
like, "Hey, how you doing? See you doing so well." Oh, da, da. And it's like, yeah, because
What?
you're so afraid to date me in case I'm not socially acceptable. And now I've been made socially
You've seen it.
acceptable. You're brave enough to do it.
Oh my God. What?
Pussies.
Sheep.
Like total
Sheep.
wimps,
Yeah.
right? And it's like I don't want to date somebody that has to do something when it's popular,
Yeah, of
you
course.
know?
And it's this level of like, don't make me feel embarrassed to
Yeah.
be with you.
Yeah.
No.
It's also very weak because it's basically saying I can't lead, I can only follow
Yeah.
what other people are doing and nobody was dating you or someone like you, so I can't do that. And it's
Mhm.
just like I was like no backbone,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's such an amazing story because I think even now, quite a lot of my friends are in relationships. It's a big part of your 20s. And I've always struggled a lot with the idea of in my life feeling a lot like a burden already with
uh-huh.
the hospital appointments, the recoveries, the
Yeah.
this, the that. With especially when I have a difficult day, I'm like, oh, it would be nice to have a partner, someone to do things with, a companion.
And to share stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
literally, even if you're just sat there doing nothing, that's
Yeah.
the whole point, really. It's the time you spend just in each other's company. But I've always really struggled when I've had like a bad day to kind of be like, someone will want to put up with all of this. Someone will,
Yeah, I know what you mean, but what you don't see is people put up and tolerate stuff in relationships all the time, but
yeah,
it's invisible. It's not
hmm
on their face. And
exactly.
people have partners with mental health problems, with childhood trauma. Like a part of actually being in a relationship, I think, is tolerating each other's kind of baggage.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that was another thing, right, that this ableist society did to me when I met Richie. They're like, he's a lovely guy. Oh God, good for him for taking you on. And you're so
No.
lucky. And isn't he nice? And it's like, he is nice and everything. Yeah. But you don't know that by just looking at a picture of him. But you feel like he's nice because he's entered into an unconventional
Like you're
setup.
indebted.
Yeah. And it's like, actually, you don't know what I carry for him.
Yeah.
You don't know what I tolerate from
Yeah.
him. Like you don't know his like burdens or difficulties aren't written on his face. But we in an exchange in a relationship, we all have that kind of exchange and that dynamic.
Totally. We all have things that we have to take on, and you do that for the ones you love.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
you definitely do, and I think you find love in the most unexpected
Yeah.
places. And it doesn't also have to look like that traditional setup. Like if I ever, I love my husband so much, and I hope we're together
Yeah.
forever. But if we weren't, now I have children, and now I'm older. I
Yeah.
don't know if I would seek another conventional relationship
Mm.
because I don't think I would need it.
Yeah.
And I love him and need him, but if it was to ever end, I'm not sure that's something I would seek again.
And also because you've been loved in such a true way as you are,
Yeah,
as you should be, but because you've had that what is the point of trying to seek that again? You know you've had it.
Yeah.
You know it was incredible, and you just appreciate it for what it is, and then live the rest of your life knowing that your love for yourself is also enough.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
also, like, I only attracted Richie
Mm.
well, I was 27, so everything happened to me when I was 24. I only attracted Richie when I truly, truly let go
Mm.
of meeting somebody
Yeah,
and of doing all these silly things, right? So I used to do silly things like only sit on one side of people.
I've done it. I
Yeah,
walk past people and scratch my head and
yeah, hide certain
yeah.
things. Only be meet people in the evenings when it's darker.
Mhm.
Like all this stupid stuff that was like basically making me only reveal bits of myself and
Yeah.
never fully
Shrink
giving.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and not really fully giving yourself to somebody to decide whether they will accept or reject you.
Mhm.
So Richie only could really love me when I could present as me and say like I do. I know it's corny and cheesy, but
Not at all.
to say I love myself,
Yeah.
you know.
You can't really also have the ability to love someone else if you don't love
Yeah.
yourself yet either.
We just don't have, like, the energy,
No,
I
not
don't
at
think,
all.
because it's too exhausting to, like, edit yourself and pretend that you're something
And in
else.
that relationship, you'll constantly be striving to feel kind of fulfilled again. So it's like you
Yeah.
have to be able to self fulfill to then be able to, not kind of jeopardize the relationship.
Uh-huh. But that
Yeah.
break from men and from my romantic life was the most formative time of my life. Honestly, I reached new levels, new peaks, new highs. Women transformed my life, my career, everything. I did all of that single.
It's
Like some
amazing.
of my greatest life's
Amazing.
work was
Yeah.
was done alone.
Yeah.
And that's when you can be like really, really
You
focus.
yourself and I. That's actually the most incredible thing, isn't it? Is realizing that the power and the means comes from within.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that we're all trying to strive for in life is to realize that the power and the means and the reason actually is do it for you.
And also, it is okay to sometimes feel lonely
Yeah, of course.
because you meet people that are in horrible relationships
Yeah.
where they're surrounded by people, but they're still really lonely,
Mhm.
So it doesn't necessarily mean a solitary figure on your own. Like, there's loneliness is like all through your life in different ways. And
Yeah.
I think sometimes like you understand endurance, right?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you have to endure and it's okay. And you can't always look for like this respite and this way out. Sometimes you just gotta like stand in that, right?
Exactly. With, how full your life is now and especially love, with your family and your kids and your partner, Richie, and so many other different forms of love and in all the different ways that they come, friendship. What is a piece of advice that you would say I should take about love from you now being in your 40s? And also, what would you say is something that I shouldn't waste my time on?
I don't think you should like try and change people's perception or opinion of you. And I don't think you should get caught up on like your peer group because it's like, that kind of like being like her, like you're not like her, you're
Mm.
like you,
Hmm.
right? And it's like almost like by being you, like it's just like this like thing, isn't it? We all want something that we can't have,
Yeah.
right? We all want something that everyone else wants, right? That's kind of what makes things desirable, like
Yeah.
wait lists, things selling out.
Hmm.
Like that's the kind of psychology. So it's like create your own wait lists for yourself, like create your own desirability. Like I gave up trying to
Preach.
be like her ages
Yeah.
ago,
Yeah. Because there already is someone that's like her.
yeah, and like when I look at you, I always see somebody that always dresses well, like always looks immaculate. Like you are very beautiful, and I like maybe that's confusing for people because you are attractive, right? And it's like you always show up in that way of like making yourself desirable.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not your job to sell yourself and say, "Hey, notice me, come get me." Like, but it is your job to like live your life to the full,
Yeah.
and then whoever you pick up along the way, it comes into
Yeah.
your life and
Yeah.
like really thinking about like when have you felt loved and what is love because we are obsessed with traditional love just being
We
a man and
are.
a woman meeting building a life together having sex
Because that
whatever.
is the norm. So
It's
you're
not
kind
even
of like, what is it without that?
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
even that great that setup. Like I think I've experienced like radical love and intimacy from lots of different people,
Mm-hmm.
and I definitely don't get all my love and intimacy just from like one straight relationship.
No.
Like like it comes from lots of different ways, from different people that I'd be really lost without.
Yeah.
I don't even know if they know that I feel that way
Yeah.
about them, but I do love lots of different people for different
Yeah.
reasons.
100%. And you need all of them because they're all parts of
Yeah.
what have made you, get to this point that you are today.
Yeah.
My final kind of, I'm going to do a quick fire question thing after this.
These are hard questions.
Yeah, I know, but my final sort of, no, you answered that so beautifully, and I resonate with every single thing you said. Like, I'm trying to not use the same word of like, I know, totally, exactly, because there's this different level of seeing and hearing that I've always felt with you. And so it's like, we could cover everything in the kitchen sink and it will simply still never be enough time.
Yeah.
So you'll have to come back. But with, who you are now, and you probably being the most you, Katie, you've ever been, what makes you feel beautiful and the most you now?
I used to think when people were talking to me, like, are they able to look at me? Is it like awkward? Like, what are they looking at? Like, it used to bother me. It used to give me like little palpitations and make me all hot and tingly. And like, I genuinely don't like clock that or think about it. It doesn't bother me. I am really able to go I can go on the school run, no makeup. I don't have to get up and get ready for 2 hours to see people.
Yeah.
I don't worry when I open the door to the delivery people that they are a bit like shot. Like, it doesn't like penetrate anymore. So like, I sort of feel like beautiful in all states. Whereas if I used to feel like beautiful and powerful in some places, but not in others, like some work situations where you go to some places, I'd feel like really ugly sometimes and like not good enough. That has gone. And I think it's to do with turning 40.
Yeah.
And it's a message that it was the reason that I started to write this new book at 40 was we tell women you lose your power, you lose your beauty when you age. And I'm here to tell you it is not true. I am my most beautiful and my most successful and my most powerful since I turned 40.
Yeah,
So
1000%.
I really want to reassure people it doesn't get worse, it gets better.
Yeah. It is so true that people feel like life ends when you start to properly age.
Yeah.
And that aging is something that should not be embraced.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy when you think somebody like you're like trying to live all the time and stuff's getting in your way, right? So then you've got everyone else like trying to avoid the inevitable of living, right?
Yeah.
It's like such a weird contradiction. Like, some of us are out here fighting for our lives, right? Like, literally, and other people are like trying to avoid like existing
And fight what is a kind of privilege.
Yeah, and it's like we tell people like older women are unattractive and they won't get the jobs and they won't get the guy. And it's like, well, they told us that about not being symmetrical, right? They told us that about not being Western beauty standards, but that's not true. Me and you, we still get the contracts. We still get around the table. We still get on the red carpet. Like, we are still defying that lie that the most powerful currency you can possess is your beauty. And now the next stage lie is the most powerful currency you can possess is youth. It's not true. It's a lie. But it does, like, in a capitalist society, right, it does keep the economy going because
it's trying to tell you that if you use this cream.
yeah, you got to buy stuff, right?
Yeah.
And I hand on my heart want to say to anybody, if you've ever felt not enough, if you've ever felt not thin enough or not beautiful enough, the problem was never you. And all the outlets that were making you feel not good enough also sell you the solution.
Yeah.
So they're just getting rich off it. They're just keeping the economy going. Like, if everyone was super confident, right, we'd have no industries left.
Happiness, unfortunately, doesn't sell.
Right.
So
exactly.
if they can make people feel they need to buy into things like aging being seen as a problem, then that's how money gets made.
And it's like when people say to me and you, like, oh my God, if like that happened to me, I wouldn't.
I could never
live like, yeah, I would die. I would kill myself. And it's like, actually, honey, you actually wouldn't kill yourself.
No.
Like, you're actually way more stronger than you know.
Exactly. You've just not been forced to
You've
get
not
there.
been forced to get there. Like, so when you're in the sink or swim situation, trust me, you probably wouldn't choose to drown yourself.
No, because you're forced into a situation, and it's like, being like a duck, just trying to float above water. Yeah, is it easy? No.
Yeah.
Would you rather have any other circumstance? Yes, but you figure it the fuck out.
Right. I've genuinely sat in a car with someone before and it did not come from a horrible place, but they just blurted it out. They were like, oh my God, like, if that happened to me, what happened to you? I would kill myself. And then it was just silent. And I was like,
yeah, good chat. Thanks.
Great. Okay. Well, like, if I dressed like that, I'd kill myself. Cheers. I don't know. Like, what do you want me to say?
Yeah. What, like, people really give compliments and think they're like, or giving something where you think you're going to take that on and be like, thank you.
Yeah.
I've had people, take my hand and say like, can I pray for you.
Oh, I
And I'm
know.
like,
Do people touch your face?
yeah.
Yeah, people touch my face.
It's just
Yeah.
like you wouldn't do that otherwise. There is boundaries here that just
Yeah.
they think they can cross. It's insane.
Yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? I suppose also it comes from like, I mean, like one of the good affirmations is like, your discomfort is not my burden.
Ah,
And I suppose they're putting onto you their discomfort of like, they don't really know how to receive you. They feel awkward. So they're trying to like scrabble together something to say to console you.
yeah,
It's like, I don't need consoling. This is
yes,
my everyday life.
yeah,
I've got the consoling under control.
yeah,
Like, it's all
yeah.
right.
No,
Like,
totally. And if anything, it's actually more harmful by you trying and fix me by putting some positivity on me that just isn't,
yeah.
you know.
But again, it's like a new era of it's all right now to be what was deemed as like mean or a bitch. Like
Yeah,
now you can say, I don't strive to be a nice person. I strive to be a good person.
yeah.
Like I don't have to like
Another
politely.
podcast episode.
Yeah, I know. It's a whole other topic, isn't it? But like when I was first burnt, I always tried to be nice to everyone because like burnt people are like polite and
That's
cute,
it.
palatable. Yeah. And like now that we're in a bit more of a like Instagram era where you've got these feminist accounts, like I don't mind if someone meets me and they're like, "Oh, she wasn't very nice." I'm like, I don't want to be nice.
Yeah,
Like
I don't know you. I don't have to
I
be.
don't have to be.
And
Yeah.
even if I wasn't overly nice, doesn't mean that I'm not a good person
No,
by
I
your
don't
standards.
have to
Like,
be like super friendly because I'm
totally.
disfigured.
Yeah,
Like
exactly. Yeah.
I'm tired.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't need to be all smiles and just bounce back
Yeah.
bravery.
Yeah.
No, I could not agree more. Okay, so finally, just some quick. We've done lots of kind of deep chats, which
therapy
no,
together.
no, which I love. We definitely
Yeah.
needed to do this. It's really cathartic, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's really healing. But to bring it all to the more chill stuff to round it all off.
Okay.
These are just some quick fire things that I wanted to ask you.
Okay. This
So no
sounds fun.
overthinking, just whatever comes to your
Does
head.
it have to be like one answer?
No. No.
Okay. All right.
Okay, what is a fashion era you lived through that you'd never go back to?
Oh gosh, because it's all coming back, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
my kids are like, "Mum, you're so Y2K," and I'm like, "Babe, I grew up in the 90s.
yeah.
Those are my old clothes." um, well, I think it was like the eyebrow era of like I didn't just shave them off; I shaved like Adidas stripes into
No,
my
the
eyebrows.
slits in your brows.
Yeah,
Oh my
I don't know
god.
why. Like
I bet that looked really cool though.
well,
I
don't
bet
know. I
you.
was like a middle class white girl from Hampshire. I don't know why I was shaving like stripes in my eyebrows. There,
No,
yeah.
that is funny.
Yeah.
Okay. A word you'd use to describe yourself that no one else would think of, or a quality you have that maybe people except your inner circle wouldn't really
I actually think it would be a risk taker
love.
because people might think that I'm quite shy,
I'm risk
nervous,
averse. Yeah.
like the safe option.
Mhm.
But actually, I'm like ready to disrupt all kinds of things to
Yeah.
take a risk.
Especially when you've had disruption,
Yeah.
it's like, no, I want to do the disrupting now.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
fear that things going wrong. You know.
Yeah, totally. You figure it out because you've had much
Yeah.
worse.
Can't get much worse than
No,
this.
literally, when
Yeah.
you've hit rock bottom, you're like, well, this is nothing.
You're dangerous.
Yeah, we both are. What's the most underrated thing about being in your 40s?
Well, I mean, there's all the cliche things about like not caring what people think and stuff, but I definitely think you lose FOMO. Like you don't worry about missing out on things.
Yeah, I've
like-
lost that already.
Yeah, exactly.
Probably because I'm in my 60s.
Yeah, you're fine. You've like missed a whole decade. You're good. Like you've sort of been there, done that, and so you don't kind of worry about what might have been, what could have been, and you know that it's never too late to restart your life.
Yeah.
and be what you might have been. Like when you're young, you get told that this is your prime, these are your golden years. You get one shot, and as you age, you realize, oh, that's not true. I could like.
Every day's a new shot.
Yeah, I could change direction. I could move house. I could change my job. So there's like a real like freedom in that, you know.
Mhm. Okay, what's your go-to karaoke song? And if you do karaoke, do you actually commit?
I love karaoke, and I think that I've got a little raw, unnurtured talent there.
You need to start nurturing it. I want to see this.
The feedback is that I don't, and that I'm really nasally, and I always murder like Mariah Carey songs.
So good.
Love Mariah Carey, like her era with Jay-Z, like
Yes.
Heartbreaker.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. For me, it's anything with Adele.
Oh yeah.
Love.
Okay,
Like
I love that.
Adele's old stuff.
Yeah. But it's
everything.
sad, Adele, don't you
It
know?
is, but you know
Yeah.
when you're in your feels and you just want to belt out
Yeah.
a song.
Yeah.
I was a very like overly emotional child even before anything
Yeah.
happened, where I'd like, it would be raining and I'd stare out the window and pretend I was in the
Yeah.
Chasing Pavements music video.
Love that for you.
That was just
Okay.
me. And then last one, when things do get a lot, as advocates and people that have an even closer relationship than normal to our followers based on, what we've shared and what people share with us, and feeling a level of responsibility, whether we want to or not, what is something that you do to try and detach or recharge?
I love running, right?
Yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that you love your exercise, which is so good.
Yeah, and I kind of I'm like this contradiction where I'm like really connected to loads of people through my job and work at
Mm,
events. I'm running a charity, creating a community, but I like kind of a bit of a loner.
I'm the same.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
And it was because I had to get used to being on my own when my circle like disappeared in the immediate aftermath,
Yeah.
and I had to get used to living in hospital on my own with my mum.
Yeah.
So I'm very
Same.
very good at being alone.
Yeah, if
I
anything,
enjoy
actually,
it.
that's when I feel safest
Yeah.
because you were kind of forced into that situation.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it worked out.
Yeah,
So
exactly. You'll be okay there.
yeah,
A
I
lot of
like
people are scared of that.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm my own best friend. So like I like to like I get up really early when no one's up, like 5 a.m. and I go out running and I'm just alone in the world, which I like. As long
Me
as
too.
I'm like I'm raw dogging it, no headphones,
Yeah.
no
Oh my
music.
God,
Like
really? See,
yeah.
that's what I'm not good at, is I
Yeah.
always have to play something. Maybe it's because of hospital noises.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
I've never fallen asleep in the last 15 years without
Okay.
listening to something.
Oh, that's yeah, because you've had to blocked out like
But when I
machines and things.
do sit in silence or in nature, I love it.
Yeah, I like nature. I mean, I've got a dog, so I'm always like dog
That's a
walking.
good way to force you to get out and walk
Yeah,
and,
and I talk to the dog and like I just think like now my relationship with myself is so strong.
Mm.
I do like sort of like dating myself and being on
Yeah.
my own with myself.
Again, it's the
Yeah.
most important time you'll have. And actually, we're so go, 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 go more than ever as a human race
Yeah.
that, and especially you've got so much on your plate in so many different ways, that actually the time you spend truly with your own thoughts
Yeah.
is crazy, is, most important.
I also think like I'm not saying this is good or bad, but where there was a time in my life where my problems were so unrelatable to friends, I'm not someone that when things are hard would pick up the phone and
I
go,
wasn't either.
yeah,
Because I also thought you're not going to really
you're not
get
gonna
it.
get it. And
Yeah.
also I don't want to be constantly moaning if I did that,
Yeah.
right? So now when things are hard, rather than confide in a friend or even go to therapy, I actually like just to go for a walk, go for a run, and
Love
that's my coping
your
mechanism.
outlet.
Yeah.
And then we always do little thought of the week. So it's normally mine if I'm by myself, but when it's a guest, I pass it over to them. So, Katie, based on everything we've spoken about, can you give the listeners one sticky note sentence for anyone who feels like their life has been derailed, and one thing that they could take this week as a reminder that they're still the author of it?
We always put people on a pedestal, like mainly like celebrities, right? We call them like inspirational or like some kind of hero complex. And actually, what is in each and every one of us is the human spirit.
Mm.
And the human spirit, even if you don't believe it, is unbreakable. And people talk about being broken, but they're not broken because they're still here telling
Yeah.
us this story, right? So I want everyone that's listening to this to know that we all possess the human spirit. It could be temporarily like rocked, moved, shattered, but it will never ever be broken. And you should carry that with you and take that with you, that everything you need to survive in life,
Within you,
it's
inside
within
you.
you. It's not
Yeah.
on Sephora, it's not on ASOS, it's not in a bar propping up, holding a vodka and coke, waiting to meet you and text you. It's
Yeah.
not in your phone. It is in each and every one of us, and it's completely free, but you need to tap
The
into
power
it.
is you.
Some of us have been forced to tap into it at a young age. Some of us will tap into it in our 60s and 70s towards the end of life, but it's a free gift and it's there for everyone.
Preach. That I could go on for hours,
Yeah,
but
no,
this
we
has
always
been.
talk
I
long.
know, I know. It's been so good. Thank you
Yeah.
so much. This has
Uh,
been incredible,
I knew
and
we'd have a good time together. We
I
always
I I
do.
knew we would. You need to come
Yeah,
back now.
yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
I'm gonna make you come back
yeah.
regularly to
Well, I
do this.
listen to the pod like I'm on it, so I'll be like,
Oh, stop!
I'm
You'll be
listening,
like
and I'm like,
replying.
yeah,
That's
replying.
exactly what I want.
Yeah,
The whole idea is like FaceTime with a friend,
yeah,
and this
that's
is
what it
this has
feels
felt like
like.
therapy with a friend. So
Yeah,
thank you.
no, it's a pleasure.
And with you listening to it, you kind of probably know that I always finish every Live a Little episode with, as always, remember to be kind to yourself and live a little.
Mm.
And you are exactly, what it means to live, not a little, a lot. And so would you mind looking down this camera and saying, as always, remember to be kind to yourself and live a little?
As always, remember to be kind to yourself and live a little.
Smashed it.
I like
was
that
it.
ending. That's really good, isn't it?